So thank you for joining me. When I do these Friday reflections, I often talk about a book I've read or some research I've found, something I hope that will be interesting. Yet one of my fellow directors at On Track Learning, Paul, has frequently asked, why can't I just talk about a simple film like his favourite, Die Hard? So given that it's Christmas, I'm going to fulfil Paul's wish and share my observations from the action-packed 1988 Christmas classic that is Die Hard. I watched it again with my son at the weekend. Now, some of you may have winced there already, and if so, then you are the subject of my first Die Hard reflection, which centres on the internally important question, is Die Hard a Christmas film? Well, with all the shooting, fighting and explosives, it's clearly an action film, but that action was set against a backdrop that took place entirely at Christmas, centred around an office Christmas party on Christmas Eve, with plenty of Christmas carols forming the soundtrack. Yet despite this, there seems to be a real divide on whether Die Hard can be classed as a Christmas film or not. And those central to it don't help us much either, with one of the film's writers, Stephen D'Souza, publicly declaring Die Hard to be a Christmas film, although its main star, Bruce Willis, himself prefers to see it as a Bruce Willis movie rather than a Christmas movie. I'll put a link in the comments to a good article by Stephen Follows that tries to use data to determine the truth of this argument, once and for all. But to me, actually, I think the question is important, but not so much because of the film, but rather its wider connotations. Obviously, most religions do not recognize Christmas, whether you're Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, or Buddhist, or even part of some fractions of the Christian church, then Christmas isn't celebrated at all. There are also many people who are not religious at all, but who do choose to celebrate Christmas, just a version of Christmas that for them has perhaps lost its religious meaning. For those people, what are they celebrating at Christmas, and what does Christmas actually mean? In the States, they have opted to try and find a more neutral sounding and inclusive approach and talk now about holiday greetings and happy holidays. Whilst I think in Britain we have perhaps inadvertently chosen to hold on to Christmas, but have tried to make Christmas as open to everybody as possible, where it's no longer so much about religion, but about family, goodwill, a time for hospitality and generosity. Perhaps not ironically, much like the lessons from the birth of Christ that inspired it. So for me, whether Die Hard is a Christmas film or not is up to you. Just as what Christmas may or may not mean and how you choose to celebrate it or not is for you to decide. Christmas being for family and loved ones leads me to my second Die Hard observation. So whilst it would be easy to view the lead character John McClane as a lone wolf battling against the odds to defeat a group of 12 terrorists without the support and the proper authorities, that's not the full story. John is, of course, not just fighting for what he believes is right and to protect the innocent, but he's fighting for his estranged wife, who he still loves. Also, throughout his trials and injuries, he's given moral support by a stranger who shows belief in him. I don't believe McClane would have prevailed without the unwavering support and humour of Officer Powell. We all need someone who keeps us calm, talks us through our problems, helps us find solutions, someone who has our back and advocates for us. And I think this is especially important at Christmas, which I know can also be a sad time for many as we remember loved ones that are sadly no longer with us. Christmas can also be a logistical nightmare, with much to organise and many people to see. Now, McClane tackles this one problem at a time. Before he can kill Hans Gruber, he had to take out Carl, Tony, Franco, Alexander, Marco, Christoph, Eddie, Yuli, Heinrich, Fritz and James. If he faces everybody at the same time, it would have been a much shorter film. However, the best planner in Die Hard is the main baddie, Hans Gruber, played by the brilliant Alan Rickman. Hans had a clear mission, a vision, objectives, and a plan with contingencies. Everything he does and doesn't do is to accomplish his goal. He doesn't panic when things go wrong, he adjusts. His team have clearly defined roles, he's given them clear instructions, and he allows them to do their job without interference, while he focuses on the high-level tasks. He was cool-headed and decisive at almost every turn. That is until McClane finally gets under his skin, and his plan, spoiler alert, goes out the window. So at Christmas, have a plan, design your Christmas. What does success look like for you and your loved ones? Stay focused on that outcome, calmly taking on one thing at a time. So my overall lessons from Die Hard. Number one, how and why you choose to celebrate Christmas and what it means to you is up to you. So respect those that choose to celebrate it differently or not at all. Two, whatever Christmas means to you, show appreciation for those who love you and are there for you. If nothing else, use it as a time to recognise for yourself who they are. And number 3, have a plan and stay focused on the end game, ensuring your loved ones have a happy Christmas or a happy holiday. From everybody at On Track Learning, we sincerely wish you a Merry Christmas, whatever that may mean for you. Thank you very much.